Considering this is a movie about a squirrel with superpowers, if you enjoy it, you can say you found it to be super. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new Disney Plus release, Flora and Ulysses. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely. It helps the algorithm out, helps my channel out, and I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Flora and Ulysses. This stars Matilda Lawler as Flora Buckman, a young girl who adopts a squirrel she names Ulysses, who also happens to possess superpowers, and she must protect him from Miller, played by Dany Pudi, a man from animal control who wants to capture Ulysses. Based on the children's novel of the same name, this is written by Copeland, who also wrote Wild Hogs for Disney, and it's directed by Lena, with this being her second feature film. Her first was The Tiger Hunter in 2016, which also starred Dany Pudi in the lead role. And what we get here is one part superhero movie and one part family comedy. Here we have Flora, who has a cynical outlook on life, partially due to the fact that her parents, played by Allison Hannigan and Ben Schwartz, are separated. Both of them are going through a rough time. Her mom's trying to write a book and it's not going over so well, while her dad is working a crappy retail job and is kinda down and out, complete with the depression beard we often see in movies. And along comes this squirrel with superpowers, who brings some much needed positivity in her life. And it's not simply because this is just some random cute cuddly animal, but it validates something that she never thought was possible, because Flora narrates this movie, and in the opening she mentions how much she loves superheroes and comic books, which is a love shared by her father. But she also mentions how they ultimately never actually come along, which changes with the arrival of Ulysses, who doesn't speak but whose noises are done by John Kassir, aka the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. And while Ulysses doesn't actually talk, he can fly, as well as actually understand what humans are saying, even going as far as being able to type out what he's thinking so he can communicate with Flora. And for the first time in a while for Flora, this shows her that better things are possible. The film uses this superhero squirrel to show that things you didn't think could come true have the potential to actually come true. And it brings a much needed sense of hope and optimism to Flora, which is the film's ultimate message. Now, it can definitely feel a bit cheesy and predictable at times conveying this. I'm not saying this is anything that really subverts genre tropes, and there are plot elements that are set up in the most obvious ways, such as how the parents still have feelings for one another, and given the film's messaging, you kinda know where their story's headed. But there's a sincerity that hangs over the entire film that made some of its more familiar elements forgivable, because at its core, it has an earnest and well-meaning feel, and its message will especially be great for kids, who are without a doubt the film's target audience. And in a day where things may feel down, especially as we're a year into a pandemic, where we're forced to stay indoors and are unable to do the things we normally love, that message of optimism and hope is definitely something younger audiences, and really all of us, could use right now. And yeah, while it's mainly for kids, I'd say the film is accessible to all audiences, to be quite honest, even if adults might not enjoy it as much as kids do. But they'll definitely get a nice kick out of the film's goofy sense of humor. Some stuff's hit and miss, like there are some awkward moments full of misunderstandings that feel like something out of a bad improv scene. Like for example, there's one instance where Ben Schwartz is being questioned about the squirrel's whereabouts, and he stumbles through it, constantly changing his story. But some of the film's quirky one-liners, as well as its moments of slapstick as people get freaked out by Ulysses, are pretty funny. And it's also fitting how Flora is obsessed with superheroes, as there's one running gag lifted straight out of the 1960s Batman show, where she does Robin's "Holy this" or "Holy that."
Holy birthday cake! Holy headache! Holy ball and chain! Holy Romeo and Juliet!
Holy unanticipated occurrences!
And the way she uses some of those actually got some nice laughs out of me. You also have a character named William, who's the nephew of Flora's neighbor, who has hysterical blindness from an incident he won't talk about, but he tends to deliver some purposely overly dramatic lines that I also enjoyed. And the cast all around does a solid job here. Matilda Lawler as Flora, who's in her first starring role here, does a great job. She is a natural talent, and I actually didn't mind her narration so much, as she made some humorous commentary throughout the film that complemented the action well, and she's a big reason why this works. Plus, both both Allison Hannigan and Ben Schwartz are solid here as well, for the most part. They're both written as very awkward people, which I thought was more fitting for Hannigan, as I always got the vibe from her American Pie days that was a strong suit. But on the other hand, I think Schwartz works better when he's allowed to be quirky and off the wall, and here he's meant to be more straight-faced. I don't think him being awkward really worked all the time, but he still had some solid moments. And the same thing goes for Dany Pudi in a rare antagonistic role, though he's not meant to be so much of an evil guy as he is this sort of loser-type character who's just way too dedicated to his job. But he was pretty funny, and there are also some small supporting roles, such as Kate Micucci as a waitress who makes the initial call to animal control, as well as Bobby Moynihan as the guy who runs the comic book store that Flora frequents. And all in all, they come together to make this a pretty enjoyable experience. This was nice. Given that a lot of the films meant for Disney Plus to begin with have been pretty hit and miss, this winds up being a nice standout. It's predictable and cheesy at times, but it has a big heart and a nice message about having hope and optimism, even when things seem down, and that especially makes for a nice message for kids, while adults will be able to enjoy the film's quirky sense of humor. Anchored by a charismatic cast, especially newcomer Matilda Lawler, this is certainly worth the watch. It's out on Disney Plus now, if you're able to check it out. Flora and Ulysses gets a 7 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Flora and Ulysses, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you enjoy the story? Do you have a favorite superhero movie that isn't Marvel or DC? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.